What our demands are and what we're fighting for is to stop the displacement of families here in Berry Farms. Public land is a very, very precious thing that we need to cherish, that we need to keep, especially here in Washington, D.C. And our current administration and administrations before have been selling off public land to private developers over and over like it's a monopoly board. And so the fight for this land is a war. It's a war for Berry Farms.
The United States is in the midst of what Housing Secretary Sean Donovan calls the worst rental affordability crisis ever. Poor families have been hit the hardest. An overwhelming majority spend more than half of their incomes on rent. Others live in substandard housing or are homeless. The problem is especially acute in fast-growing areas like Washington, D.C.
It's $28 an hour to afford a market rent, two-bedroom apartment. We live in one of the most unaffordable cities in the country, and we have 70,000 households on the DC wait list. The only way people who are elderly, disabled, or medium or minimum wage workers can afford to have housing is if they have a subsidy. So in the midst of this subsidized wait list being closed, DC's big affordable housing program is the New Communities program, which actually tears down affordable housing, then gives the land away for a promise from the developers to provide a one-for-one replacement, which the history of these projects never occurs.
The Federal Hope 6 program was created under the Clinton administration and was responsible for the demolition of many housing projects and the creation of mixed-income communities. However, through loopholes, developers avoided replacing many subsidized units. However, through loopholes, developers avoided replacing many subsidized units. Through loopholes. However, through loopholes, developers avoided replacing many subsidized units.
Berry Farms is home to me. This is where I live. It's my neighborhood. I'm Detrice Belt, and I'm a Berry Farms resident. I am the chair of the Berry Farms Tenants and Allies Association, BFTAA. Everybody agrees that Berry Farm needs to be rebuilt, but we want to stay in place while they do the redevelopment. We're fighting to get our voices heard.
Hillsdale, or Berry Farms as we call it, has seen better days.
When I talk to residents in the community, they have like major repairs that need to be done, and they haven't been done for years. I just see this as a neglect on DCHA's part.
Is water coming through here? Yeah. Water's coming through here?
Come on, let me show you.
Water comes through here. That's a major leak.
Through there.
It's coming through the walls.
Go in the bathroom, look in the cellar. Oh, it's a major problem. But since they don't fix it right,
all the way over here too.
Hold no more.
How long has this been here?
With the other residents.
They patched it up, and they came, you know what I'm saying? They came right now.
So they didn't repair it, they just put a Band-Aid over it.
Yeah.
But the problem is still there.
That's exactly what they do.
That's not a repair.
That's exactly what they
We often focus on the people that are actually in the homes, but we have to think about the people that are on the waiting list, people that are in shelters, people sleeping on the streets, people sleeping in cars, all of these people who are waiting for a place to live. So the more you tear down this type of housing and you don't replace it, then that's why homelessness has skyrocketed in the DC, because all of the truly affordable housing, which is public housing, is disappearing. And it's because our city is allowing it to happen.
What's up? My name's Graham. I'm here at Berry Farms helping with some arts activities to help amplify the voices of folks fighting for their public housing, their rights to affordable housing. So yeah, we're putting the tools in their hands and seeing what we can create to help resist what's happening here in Berry Farms.
Occupy Berry Farms. We're not leaving. Occupy Berry Farms. We're not leaving.
We're not going to voucher our way out of public housing because there's simply not enough vouchers, and private homes are not taking vouchers. Housing is a human right. No one deserves to be on the street. No one deserves to be in a shelter.
But now
Berry Farms is on the chopping block. So we're going to do whatever it takes